All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to part two of our webinar series, Transform Your Protection into Revenue. For those of you who may have missed the last session, the first session, my name is Michael Honeycutt. I'm the product marketing manager here at Corero Network Security. And today I'm once again joined by my buddy, Sean Newman, our VP of Product. Sean, thanks for being here again.
Thanks, Mike. Always great speaking with you. And I'm thrilled to be diving into part two of this topic for our listeners and helping to guide everyone through the steps that service providers can take to get the best out of their DDoS protection. Today, we're going to focus on three key areas. First, an overview of the service portal covering the branding options, real-time traffic visibility, and insights into attack data. Secondly, we're going to talk about how to effectively do prospecting and identify the customers of the provider that are most in need of protection. And finally, we're going to talk about how to equip those providers with the tools to effectively communicate and sell the value of a robust DDoS protection service and the value of the uninterrupted availability that enables for their customers.
That sounds awesome. But before we get into that, let's recap what we did in the first session, right? So we defined what is DDoS protection as a service, right? So, and then we covered how providers can transform that protection into a revenue generating service by embedding it within their core offerings. So you get a lot of value as a provider by offering this. We also explored the protection as a service model, which shifts network defense from just a necessary cost to a strategic value add service. So with that foundation in place, let's get started. Let's peel back the curtain as I promised, accessing the service portal. Let's get into it, Sean.
Sure.
So So let me just start with, this is the screen, right? So let's start with how users arrive at the service portal, Sean. So one of the key differentiators for providers is the ability to offer branded services. So how can they use the Corero Service Portal to create a seamless branded experience for their customers?
So that's a great starting point, Michael. So we designed the Corero portal from day one with ultimate flexibility in mind, the flexibility of how it looks, how to offer and structure the service. And the first thing that people see, as you said, would be this login screen, and we've enabled that to be fully customized. Okay, you mentioned Corero on the view there, but you can basically change everything from this view in. You can change the background, you can change the wording, the fonts, the colors, you can put your own logo in there and really make it look like your brand, matching the color schemes and the branding of your own organization. So you create a really kind of unified professional interface that aligns with your other services and how customers are expecting to see you. So when they log in, they see your brand, not Corero's brand, and that helps you to maintain the trusted relationship that you've built with them.
Right. I mean, so it reinforces your identity as a provider, as a reliable service partner, right? So because you've got this branded piece, and so it's not just the portal, but it's branded.
Exactly. Yeah. It's all about enhancing your customer's experience. The service portal also gives you real-time attack visibility. It gives your customers clear insight into how you're protecting them. And this transparency not only adds value, but it also builds on the trust and loyalty that you have with your customers, making your services stickier with them.
Nice. This is all cool. All right, so we're going to move on to logging into the portal. So now that we've covered branding, the user experience, let's dive into, as a managed service provider, what this looks like in your journey. So when they first log into the service portal, that is the managed service provider, what are the key insights or features that would immediately stand out, and how does this initial view shape the experience?
Well, immediately they log in as the provider who's offering the service. They land on this overview dashboard. It gives you key insights into how the service that they're offering is running. It shows them in the first instance here an overall chart of how the traffic is flowing to those protected customers, how the allowed traffic looks, and how much blocked traffic there is over time as attacks come and go. As we sort of drill down on that dashboard, there are other sections beneath that where they can quickly get a view on the top attacked tenants, the top attacked IP addresses, And crucially, for a provider that's aiming to make a profitable business out of delivering the service, the top prospect tenants in their customer base, the ones that aren't yet subscribed to the service, but are the ones that are real sort of prime targets to benefit from the service, and hence increase your revenues from the subscriptions to that service. So this initial view immediately equips a provider with the critical insights that they want for the service. It highlights the areas that need attention and helps them to prioritize any actions or any prospecting efforts more effectively.
That's awesome. And I just want to point out that we've cropped out sections of the service portal just to make it more visible. So this isn't exactly how the service portal would look, but these are some of the dashboards or some of the elements that you would see once you log into the portal. We've just made it more visible by cropping these sections out and showing. So taking what you just said, we're going to segue into the actual tenant prospecting. So this is what this is the meat and potatoes of what we're trying to accomplish here. It's a powerful tool that we built into the SmartWall One solution. And in this portal, you can use this and to explore more detail. So can you explain what the portal's prospecting capability is and how it helps providers identify likely customers and who are most likely to benefit from DDoS protection?
Sure, happy to go through that, Mike. The prospecting that we built, it's a powerful tool. We recognize it's not always easy for providers, as much as they want to offer protection as a service, to be able to find the right tenant customers in their customer base to go and target, to tell their sales teams that are selling their value add over the top services who to target. You can't just constantly keep calling each of your tenants saying, do you want this service this week? You want something structured, some data that gives you some data points to know who to actually go after. And obviously you're going to get much more effective. You're going to get happier tenants because you're not pestering the ones who couldn't benefit from it, but you are able to then target the ones that really could get a difference from it, and maximize your chance of getting the most return on the revenues that you can get from having the most of your the most number of your tenants subscribe to it. So the prospecting tool, I said, it's a powerful feature that enables you to target the right tenants, find the ones that are most valued, and focus in on those, the ones that enables the providers to go in and analyze their network traffic. They can identify which of their customers are the ones that are most at risk from the DDoS attacks, and basically it gives you some data-driven insights. You can pinpoint the potential customers that are prime candidates, and with this feature you can proactively approach the right ones with a compelling personalized offering and demonstrate to them the specific risks that they're facing from the attacks, and how the DDoS protection service can mitigate those risks and help to keep them available and online. So ultimately, it's helping our provider customers to maximize their revenues by delivering the service and ensuring that as many of their customers as possible are subscribing to that service.
Yeah, so it sounds like tenant prospecting not only helps providers increase customer uptake of DDoS protection, but it also drives home the value, right? And the reduced risk of having defenses in place.
Exactly, yeah. It enables the providers to be proactive about this, showing the customers real and relevant data on the threats that they're facing, the attacks that are coming their way. And it makes the conversation about protection much easier because the value to that tenant customer is clear. You can show them the charts that show the attacks that have been coming their way that they could have been protected from.
Awesome. So we're going to show some of this, what we're talking about, so it comes into focus a little bit more. So to make it even clearer for our audience, Sean, let's walk through how a provider actually uses the feature, right? So what are the steps involved in using tenant prospecting to identify and onboard new customers?
Sure. So first, you'll access the service portal's prospecting tenants dashboard, as kind of seen on the screen at the moment. From there, you can see detailed analysis of the traffic that's flowing for any of your customers that you've already identified as prospects for the service, And this highlights the DDoS attacks that they've experienced, effectively that they would have been protected from had they subscribed to the service. So that's the way of kind of tracking the customers that you've already identified as potential for subscribing to the service, and hopefully your sales teams are already actively out there talking to them and trying to sell them the value. But the next step is then this is where the real value from the service comes. You can drill down into the system data of our SmartWall 1 system, the system that's actually doing the DDoS protecting, and identify IP addresses that are being attacked, so customer assets that are under attack, but for customers that aren't currently subscribed to the service. So we make it really easy to pull out, which of those IP addresses is being attacked the most and what sort of size and duration of attacks. And then I think maybe on the next screen, is it? We can see that, so we have built-in workflows that make it simple to then make it a simple process to having identified, who's got the most attacks and how many there are. There's, a simple click, and the workflow enables you to create that new tenant within the system, but as a prospect, and assign that IP address to them. So now instead of it just being one of the IP addresses in your space, in your address space as the service provider, you're now pulling that out, specifically identifying it as relating to the tenant that's currently assigned that IP address within your portal. And that can be an address or multiple addresses, whole subnets. And you now created effectively a tenant prospect entity within the portal. And with this invaluable information, then you can guide your sales teams to these new customers or prospect customers that they can now go and approach for upselling the DDoS protection offering with exactly that information. Did you know you were attacked this many times in the last month from attacks of this size? You may have noticed some strange things going on in your environment. Did you notice your services slowed down or your website crashed? Probably wasn't an IT problem. It more likely was one of these attacks that you aren't currently being defended from because you're not subscribed to the service. How about signing up and not having to worry about that anymore?
That's incredibly powerful. It's a very powerful message. I mean, so this is a very targeted and an efficient way to identify potential customers. And once a provider identifies these prospects, how do they go about actually onboarding them?
Well, so that's all part of the same workflow. So I said, we tried to make this, not just powerful, but easy to use as well. So it enables you to, find those potential tenant customers from the great mass of IP addresses that you have and the great, mass of unsubscribed customers, and bring them out so you can target them with your sales teams. But once you actually then get a customer that agrees in the value that they can receive from subscribing to the service, onboarding them is similarly seamless. The workflow continues. Having created them as a prospect tenant, you can just follow the same workflow that moves them from being a prospect tenant into effectively a subscribed tenant within the portal, with a few clicks. So once you've had the conversation with them, they've recognized that they can benefit from the service. If you've created your service with maybe you've created it with multiple tiers, bronze, silver, gold, or something like that, and you can set those tiers all up in the portal. You onboard them in the portal by converting them to a full tenant, but you do so and then by assigning the the level that they've subscribed to. So whether it's a basic package or a comprehensive defense they've signed up for, the platform makes it easy to move them to a full tenant and then scale and tailor that offering for that tenant customer.
This is great. So, all right. So just to clarify, the managed service provider's view within the service portal is separate from the tenant customer view, correct?
Absolutely. So there are sort of, I guess, there's two types of separation within the portal. The fundamental one is we've got the service provider's view in the portal, and you've got the tenant's view. And on the tenant side, each tenant can only see their traffic. So the provider, when they log in, they're managing the service. They're able to create the different service levels that I talked about just now, and having set that up, and started onboarding tenants, they want to see how the service is running, how the existing tenants are being serviced by the protection. So service provider logs in, they can see across everyone who's subscribed. Now, if they've chosen to give those end customers access to the portal so they can see the charts for themselves, and that's not necessarily, we said earlier that we've made it really flexible, that the portal has a login for tenants that you can enable, and it delivers alerting to them as well. And you can choose to have one, the other, or both, or actually neither for your tenants. It's up to you to decide how you want to drive it. But when you give your tenant customers access, when a tenant logs in, they just see the data for themselves. They see traffic charts for just their traffic. They see dashboards and widgets about the attacks just to their protected IP spaces. So they kind of get access to their own slice of the portal, where they can see what's going on from their perspective of the service that they've subscribed to. And the portal's dashboard, highlights any of the attacks. It provides immediate status updates, which can actually, I said alerting, it can send those out via email, or we have what's called webhook integration, and that enables our portal to signal to well-known applications like Slack or Teams, so that you can have, if you've got channels set up in those applications for your IT or your security teams, you can have those alerts go straight into those channels, so you've got immediate visibility to the people that need to understand what's going on. So each tenant can get alerting like that, and they can receive alerts that a new attack has started, or an attack is over, or the attack is ongoing and it's now of this size. So they get a good picture of what's going on, and that can be the trigger then that they can use to decide to maybe go in and look at some of the charts that you can see on the screen at the moment to get more detail, and they can drill down into those and see more detail inside the attack, where it's coming from, what types of protocols, all those kind of things.
Yeah, I love it. I love how you went into the webhooks there. It once again reinforces how adaptive Corero's solutions are with your tech stack. So whatever you have, we have a way of sort of integrating and working with you, not making your life more complicated, but making it more just easier, right? And I think any company can get on board with that. So I'm going to bring us back to the core theme, right? So the core theme of this series is transforming protection into revenue. Sean, does Corero offer other tools and guidance to help managed service providers not only educate their customers on the importance of DDoS protection, but also effectively sell these services? So selling DDoS protection as a service to their customers.
Absolutely, and I think we might have alluded to these in the first part of the webinar a couple of weeks ago, as well as our innovative prospecting capability that we've talked a lot of today, and we think that's something that's really helping to change the game for providers who are really looking for DDoS protection, as much as it being a value-add service as the fact that it is DDoS protection as well. Our portal's got powerful reporting built into it. We just talked a lot about the alerting, and you mentioned the webhooks again, but there's a whole, as well as being flexible, the whole reason for the portal in the first place is to provide executive style reporting. How many attacks, how big were the attacks, not necessarily having to go all the way down to the absolute detail, but giving you the real sort of actionable intelligence at kind of executive level. So we've got reporting in there. And that gives you highlights of, like I said, the size, duration, number of attacks, the total time that you were under attack, over the last period, which if you're trying to decide as the end user, do I still want to keep paying for this subscription that my provider sold me last month, last year, or whatever, that information is helping them to see how clearly the value that they are getting from the service, and the positive impact that that's having on them keeping their online services and availability levels as high as they can be. And that's within the product. But additionally, and you will know this as our product marketing guru, we try and help our customers, our service provider customers, to be able to market the value of that service to their customers. So you've helped to produce a great suite of marketing materials that we have, that helps them support what they decide their go to market is, and effectively convey the value of the DDoS protection to their customers. We recognize that our customers that are providers, their expertise is being providers, whether they're providing internet access or they're providing hosting services. That's what their specialism is. We don't expect them or need them to be experts in DDoS. So why would they know the right way of articulating the benefits of it? So we provide materials, or you help us provide materials that that articulate that message, and so that's really important for them as part of, as well as having the prospecting feature that helps you find the customers of the provider that are most likely to benefit from the service. You still got to articulate to them in the right way what that value is, not just here's another service you can sign up to. So those materials we see as critical as part of the whole kind of turnkey kind of kit that we want to provide, not just the solution itself, but how to structure it, how to sell it. And we have other resources that help deliver guidance on how best to structure the service. There are different ways you can structure it. Some people might include it and offer a premium service. Others might include some basic level and then upsell to a more advanced. Some people might include nothing and then just have 1 or 2 or 3 service level tiers that you can subscribe to. We've got some guidance in our documentation that helps you understand why you might choose one over the other and what the benefits are, as well as helping to address some of the more common questions and, like I said, helping to convey the benefits from the provider to their end users of investing in some proactive DDoS protection.
Yeah, I love that you used, the phrase turnkey, because that's what we're all about, right? It's making your life easy. Once again, not adding complexity, but giving you the value that you can offer your customers. So peace of mind and essential DDoS protection. That's what we're all about. So what advice would you give a managed service provider who's considering offering protection as service, but they're on the fence, they haven't fully committed? And what are the key factors they should keep in mind?
Well, I think fundamentally, our service portal, the tenant prospecting capability we talked about, is designed, as we just said, turnkey. It's designed to make protection as a service not just impactful, as in we're delivering great DDoS protection, but actually straightforward and easy to understand for the provider. Like I said, they're not necessarily and probably not experts in DDoS, but they understand the value of providing DDoS. So we want to make that process of deploying a DDoS solution and then enabling it as a service as straightforward as possible and as impactful as it can be. The service portal, it's giving their end customers actionable alerts, as we said, and detailed insights into their traffic. It clearly shows the value of your protection as the provider in maintaining their uptime as the end user, which is critical, right? Lots of providers put effort into other areas of keeping their customers online, redundant power supplies and resilient network connections and stuff. But a DDoS attack can come along and blow that all out of the water. So there's a huge amount of value in adding DDoS protection on top of those, more well understood, shall we say, kind of availability mechanisms to, in the modern times we're in now, where cyber attacks are impacting people every day. That DDoS protection is a huge part of maintaining availability in the face of cyber attacks that are either trying to disrupt it for one reason or another. So together with we've got the portal and the offering and all the documentation and stuff that helps people understand why and what, but fundamentally we are a DDoS protection company, right? And as we say, we believe we have the best on-premise solution. So together with our high quality protection, adding the tools, the service portal and the other guidance on top allows you to offer a targeted and relevant protection service to boost your customer retention and drive new revenue streams as a service provider. So it's it's a great solution. So giving real actionable insights, you're not only enhancing your customer trust, but you're also reinforcing the importance of investing in proactive protection.
Yeah, it's amazing. So with that, I think we covered everything, and that wraps up part 2 of our series, Transform Your Protection into Revenue. And we really hope that this has given everybody some really valuable insights, a lot to think about, and not only how you can offer branded DDoS protection, but also how you can leverage the Corero platform to identify and serve the customers who need it most. Sean, thanks again for all your wisdom, your knowledge, walking us through all the capabilities. It's been amazing.
My pleasure, Mike. It's amazing how quickly a half hour goes when you're, talking about things that you're passionate about. So,
For sure.
it's exciting to be able to, enable our customers. We get a lot of great feedback, and to be able to provide these tools to, further enhance the business value they get from being a partner of Corero's is all goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you're interested in exploring more about how Service Portal and tenant prospecting can elevate your business, we encourage you to head over to our website, Corero.com, click on Speak with a Specialist. One of our knowledgeable experts would love to speak with you directly about it. There is also the part 1 out here from this series that you could watch if you want to catch up on that. But once again, just want to thank everybody. Happy Halloween. And this has been really awesome. It's been our pleasure to talk to you about DDoS protection as a service, how you can use the Service Portal and tenants prospecting to offer DDoS protection to your customers. Thank y'all. Thanks, Sean.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. See everyone next time. Bye.
Bye.